Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
5, 4, 3.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go now, Gary.
So, did you see what I did there? Because I knew we were going live in 5 seconds, and so I started counting. I go 5, 4, 3, and then I went. You know why they do that? Have you ever seen that?
I've seen it on TV, or on the movies, where they're like 3, 2, 1. Why do they do that?
But they do because if perhaps there's an error in their timing, they're not sitting there saying 3, 2, 1. It's like, so anyway.
Yeah. Well, welcome everybody, because 3, 2, 1, we're ready to go. We are here to talk about our predictable listings playbook, i.e., how do we get some more listings? How do we get more listing leads? And how do we generate those opportunities? And how do we ultimately have a nice pipeline filled with those listings and those listing opportunities? Gary, I don't know about you, but I know we've had a pretty busy listing season.
Oh my gosh, it's been nonstop.
Yeah, it's been nonstop. And,
hold on. You say listing season, and I'm like, does that ever stop? No, it's every month. Listing season, when you have a predictable listing playbook, it's predictable that listing season doesn't go away. Listing season is just kind of like your life.
Well, I remember we used to talk about how the traditional view of when the listing season was like, spring and summer. And you've always said that our listing season actually typically increased in the fall and winter, as opposed to, now it's not to say that we didn't have business happening during that time, but there would be an increased level. And we see that happening even right now. Is it because of the situation, the circumstances going on? I don't know, but here's what I can tell you. In the last 2 weeks, I know I've filmed a video for what it was about $2.5 million of volume in real estate. Is that about right? Because we got that. There's, I think it's about 2.5, maybe.
Actually, it's more.
It's more. It actually might be more, because it's 2.8 plus 500. What's that?
That's 3 point something.
3 point something.
This is the thing about realtors, correct? You can only ask realtors one question, and that is, what is 3% of a number?
Any number.
We know it.
Right. So that's just been in the last 2 weeks. We've listed that volume. I think it's about 3 homes. So anyway, that's what we're going to be talking about today. For those of you guys who this is the first time joining us, you've clicked on the audio, so you don't need me to explain that to you. But what you probably would like to know is the difference between chat versus Q&A. And so the chat section, please use it. We love having you tell us where you're dialing in from. We love to see encouragement and support in that chat room. Gary particularly likes to see, say nice things about him. It really builds his confidence level up. And, that's always just makes us feel good,
What do we use the chat for, Gary? No mean words. No mean words. But when you have questions that are pertinent and you want your questions answered, what we ask is that you go to the Q&A section there and post your questions there. And our team, we have a full support team here supporting us and supporting you, so that your questions will be answered. But if you put your questions in chat, we're not going to see them, because as you can see, man, that thing is it's rolling so fast. Make sure you put all of your questions in the Q&A section, and that's where your questions will get answered. Plus, at the end of this presentation and end of all of this training, we're going to do, 30, maybe 45 minutes of Q&A, live Q&A here with you. So that's where you need to put your questions, and that's where we will find them.
All right. So real quickly, here's what we're going to be talking about today, guys. We're going to give you 3 quick strategies to get listings, right? How many of you here, just go to the chat section, how many of you here could use a few more listings, right? Like we have many on the market. We've still closed many, but I'll tell you what, there doesn't seem to be that many problems in real estate that a few more listings couldn't solve these days. Isn't that not true? I'm curious.
Well, not to mention, Chris, they're selling so fast. It's like we have to replenish our inventory as fast as we get it.
Yeah. With the inventory constraints that are out there these days, it's definitely in the driver's seat when you are the one with the inventory. You know what I mean? You're definitely in the driver's seat. So that's why we want to give you 3 quick strategies for getting listings today. We're also going to talk about a 5-step real estate marketing system that will produce leads. They will produce listing leads. The byproduct is they will also produce buyer leads, but this is a 5-step real estate marketing system to produce leads. And then we're going to share with you a 12-month marketing calendar that is specifically designed to generate those listing opportunities so that we can, on a predictable and consistent basis, get those listing opportunities. So with that said, if this is the first time you're joining us and you don't know who Gary and I are, we'll take 20 seconds to introduce who we are. My name is Chris Scott. I'm a real estate digital marketer. And I manage social media accounts with like over 200,000 connections. I spend most of my time doing one of 2 things. I'm either working in our real estate practice to market listings, to generate opportunities and to generate leads for our team. And when I'm not doing that, you can find me on trainings like this, sharing what's working in our real estate practice with you guys through the Paperless Agent. And when I'm not doing that, you're going to find me hanging out with my family there. There's the crew. There's my wife of 15 years and the 4 kids. This was actually about 2 years ago. So the 4 kids are a little bit taller than they were during this trip. That's actually not a 5th child there. That's my mom. That's Botch on there. That's the kid's grandmother. We went to go visit her in Japan a couple of years ago. And that is a trip that we went to one of the temples in Kyoto. So that was a
Trip
fun
of a lifetime,
time.
man. That's awesome.
So exactly. And so when I'm not marketing and when I'm not marketing real estate, when I'm not generating leads or telling people and sharing with everybody how I'm doing it, that's what I'm doing.
All right. My name is Gary Kreth. I am a listing expert agent. I've been selling real estate in the Austin, Texas area for over 23 years now. And when I say listing expert agent, I very quickly, from the very first week in business, I learned that if I wanted to build an awesome business that is sustainable and repeatable, I needed to focus on listings, because when you have all these listings, what else do you get? You get buyers. And that's the easiest way to get buyers. So I always focused on that. And in the height of my career, before Chris and I got together and said, hey, let's go share this with the world. Let's go share what we've been doing that's successful with everybody else out there, so maybe they can replicate this. I was going on about 6 listing appointments every single week, and I was carrying about 50 active or pending listings at a time. And then here I am, I'm in a photograph with my brother. That's Jonathan Kreth. He is our real estate partner at Kreth Partners. We currently run this operation out of Austin, Texas. And like Chris said, we're taking on as many listings as we can, marketing them as fast as we can, because they're selling as fast as we can get them sold. And so, but today we're going to share with you our predictable listing playbook that we use. And the reason it's important for you to understand that my whole career has been focused on listings and what we're still currently doing is that what we have accomplished and what we continue to accomplish as a team would have been impossible without a full predictable listings playbook. And we're here to share that with you today. With that, Chris, let's go.
Let's dive into the 3 quick strategies to get listings. All right. So I want to give you guys 3, and I call these quick strategies. And it's because they're based off of a very important I want to call it principle or fact in the real estate industry. And this is based on the National Association of Realtors. And every year they do a study of the home buyers and sellers. And every year they ask home sellers specifically, hey, what was the determining factor? What was the number 1 determining factor in choosing your real estate professional? And it's always been the same, and the number 1, the number 1 factor for sellers in choosing their agent. You want to know what it is? It's the agent's reputation. Okay. And that to me, and here's the thing, a seller is actually more likely to work with somebody else other than the agent that put them in the home to start with. They go with somebody else's reputation. And so what that tells me is every strategy that we're going to employ, we have to make sure we take care of what our message is in the marketplace, because that's where our reputation comes from. It's the messages about us in the marketplace.
Mhm.
And your message is either on purpose and intentional, or it's just kind of happening. You know what I mean? And so what we did is we put together just 5 things to consider about your message in the marketplace, and also some things that you can do. And you're going to see from the 3 strategies that we're going to share with you guys today how this starts to connect and align with what your message in the marketplace, what your reputation in the marketplace is all about. Those of us who have lots of opportunities that just seem to come predictably, a lot of that's just coming straight up from our reputation in the marketplace, because we drive, control, and manage our reputation through the message we have in the market. The first thing you have to do is you got to be present. You can't be the secret agent, right? You can't be the James Bond of the industry. You have to be present. You have to be seen everywhere. You have to be known, right? So that's the first step, is we have to be present. The second thing is that your message matters, meaning that if you want to have a reputation around getting listings, for example, then the message that you put into the marketplace must be connected to real estate. It must be connected to the selling of homes. To shift gears a little bit, we also have to show people within our markets that we care. Gary, you, me, everybody on today's training with us today, we all want to believe that the companies and the businesses and the firms and the individuals that we do business with, that they care about us more than our wallets.
Hopefully we're not just a paycheck to them and money.
Well, it's very easy. We might feel that way, but it's very easy for that to get misinterpreted. You know what I mean? For example, let's say you haven't talked to or seen or encountered someone from your network, from your contacts or connections, and you get inspired to reach out to them. And so you're like, you know what, I'm going to send an email, or I'm going to send some messages out to everybody that I know. And what's common for us in real estate is to put a little PS there, right? Hey, if you know of anyone who's thinking of buying or selling real estate, please keep me in mind. Well, if you haven't reached out to somebody in a long time and they see your, oh, hey, if you know of anyone who's thinking of buying or selling, the first thing they're going to do is say, you know what, Gary only sends me messages when he's hungry for something, when he needs something from me.
Yep.
Right. So it's important that we do a timeout from our regularly scheduled programming, when it comes to our messages in the marketplace, to make sure we are showing people that we care. We want to contact people personally as frequently and often as we can through our message in the marketplace. Now, I know that that's not feasible to do day in, day out with everybody that you know. You might only be able to do it once or twice a year, and that's fine because most people don't do it at all. But a way to be able to increase your ability to contact more people personally, to show them that you care and to provide them value, right? That's a message that matters, is to provide them value, and for them to see that you're present, is to use tools, technology to connect. And so the first of these 3 strategies that I want to share with you is one that does exactly that, right? It uses a tool that many of you may have used part of this, but maybe you haven't used all of the features. So strategy number 1 is a simple video messaging strategy. This came about at the beginning of around March or April. And, a lot of things were starting to hit the fan during that time. And so we wanted to make sure that everyone in our network, that they were doing all right. So Gary, this was something that you did, right? The tool that you were using was Facebook Messenger. We'll talk more about how to do that. But let's just share with everybody, hey, this is what you did. This is a simple video messaging strategy that anybody can do.
Yeah. And so it's still important, still very, very critical. But like Chris said, this was spawned out of a situation where a lot of people were stuck at home. They weren't able to go out. And Chris said, hey, what if we started sending personal videos to everybody in our network on Facebook? And I was like, oh man, I love that, because it's kind of, if you pick up the phone today and you try and call somebody, does anybody answer the phone anymore? They don't.
Only if they're
And
sell real estate.
Well, but here's another thing. If you call and leave a message, how many people just don't even listen to their voicemail anymore, or how many voicemails are completely full?
Yeah.
So what I would say is, if you use this strategy, it's a great way because people open up their Facebook, they go to Messenger, they see what's happening there, and if you make this personal, it's incredible the response you will get. And here's the thing. You don't talk about real estate. You just ask about them personally, because one thing Chris and I discovered is like, man, if you just reach out personally and say, hey, Tim, just thinking about you, and we'll give you the script in a minute. What happens is that if there is a conversation to be had about real estate, we don't have to bring it up. They're going to bring it up. And like Chris said, if they see that personal contact and they realize, oh, Gary's not contacting me to sell me a house or to find out if I'm ready to move. Gary's just checking in with me. That's pretty cool.
Well, okay. So you're using Facebook Messenger in this case,
right?
What are some alternatives? They could use like text messaging.
You can use video through text messaging. You can use Instagram. You can shoot DMs through Instagram. I just like Facebook because, gosh, Chris, I think at last check we have fewer than 500 people in our real estate database that we've sold homes to. But check this out. On Facebook, I've got over 4,000 contacts on Facebook. So my list is huge on Facebook. And so I can reach out to them. And Chris, you also researched, there's a huge percentage of people who actually open up their Facebook Messenger, but they don't open up text.
90% of Facebook Messenger over 90% of Facebook Messenger messages are opened, as opposed to like email where it's like 30%. And so as a tool, same thing, text messaging, the open rate is very, very high on text messaging. And so like in terms of getting your message delivered, it's very, very effective. Now, question, Gary, what kind of message do you put into a video?
This script right here. And it goes something like this. Hey, Chris, I wanted to let you know I'm thinking of you and sending this message to check in on you, Nicole, and the kiddos. With everything going on, if there's anything I can do to help, please don't hesitate to reach out. By the way, when you have a moment, let me know how you're doing and take care. Boom.
15 seconds.
I think I nailed that in like 10.
less than 15 seconds, 10 to 15 seconds.
But here's the thing, Chris, I mean, how many people can I reach? If I say, you know what, today I'm going to reach out to as many people as I can in 2 hours. Everybody has 2 hours in their day to do this, to reach out to people, to let them know that you care. How many people in your list can you reach out to? Hundreds in a single day.
Yeah, and it's not like you have to have fancy equipment, fancy lighting. I can see based on this one, you're just sitting outside your house there using your phone, and that's it. That's all you're doing. You're just using your phone and doing a quick message, and that's you don't have to worry about being a producer to make this type of video, because it's just a short video message.
Well, and here's the other thing, when you're shooting a short video message like this, people don't want it overproduced. Another thing I would recommend, I know we'll get this question in a minute, is should you just record a video and send it out to everybody? No, the purpose here is making it personal. You remember, like if you were to pick up the phone and call people, you're calling an individual. If you're shooting a video, it's like, hey, Chris, that's what makes it important. You're present, your message matters, and you are showing that you care, and you're contacting them personally, and you're using tools, which one? Facebook, to message them. Facebook Messenger, sorry.
Well, and that falls right in line with, when you look at the weight of that communication that they're going to receive, they are going to know that, hey, you took the time to send them a message just for them. And so that's going to, what is it? There's a quote by Maya Angelou, and it's something, so I'm going to butcher it, but it's something like this. People will forget what you said or they'll even forget what you did, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. And when you take that time to contact people personally and show them that you care and provide them value, and this form is just the form of the relationship, then people are going to remember how you made them feel. And that has a lasting effect. And the great thing is it can take, you can have that kind of impact on an individual in your database that you're connected to on Facebook, that you're connected to on social media with less than 15 seconds. Let me show you exactly how you do this. So if you haven't used Facebook Messenger, if you're using Facebook, all you have to do is download the app. You can, and it'll install it on your phone. Many of you probably already have it. So what you do is you click on Facebook Messenger, and everybody that you're connected to on Facebook, you're connected to on Facebook Messenger. That's the beauty of it, right? Yep. So you just go search for the people that you want to message. When you find that person, you open up the window, and then you click on the little camera. You tap on the little camera icon at the bottom. And what that's going to do is it's going to open up the camera so you can share your message. And you're just going to hold that white circle down. You don't want to hit it once. If you hit it once, it takes a photo.
That's what I did. Chris was like, you got to do this. And I'm like, dude, it's not working. It's just taking photos.
Yeah, you got to hold that button down. You'll know you're doing the right thing when a little blue ring goes around that circle. So that's, and it will only let you do, 15, 20 seconds or something like that. So by nature, it's meant to be a short, impactful message. We don't need to worry about delivering grand speeches. You don't need to rehearse. You can use that little script because you're just checking in with people, and it leaves a really good impact. Once you're done with your short message, you just click on send and move on to the next person. And that, my friends, is the first of the 3 strategies to get listings. But we're not done. We've got a few more innovations and tricks up our sleeves. So strategy number 2 is to promote your property marketing plan. Now,
whoa, Chris, what is a property marketing plan?
I'll tell you in just a moment. So here's what we're doing. We're actually using social media. So remember when we talked about our message in the marketplace, and remember when we said that our message matters and that sellers choose their real estate professional based on the agent's reputation. So if you want people to choose you to sell a home, to sell their home, that means they got to believe that you have a plan and that you're capable and you're competent to sell those homes. Unfortunately, get this, over 75%, I think it's like 76% of the time, sellers hire another agent. They don't hire the agent that put them in the house.
Every time you say that, it's just like a dagger
in my
heart.
It's alarming that that's the case. And here's why. They don't, maybe they were fine with us helping them select and choose a home. But when it came down to listing and marketing and selling the home, they just didn't have the confidence in our ability to do that. And that comes down to our reputation, which means the messages that we put into the marketplace, they must convey our effectiveness and our competence as real estate professionals, particularly in the area of listing, marketing, and selling homes. And so you'll see here's a little short. This is a screenshot from our Instagram account. And in our Instagram account, we have this little video. It's like a 3-second video. It's actually an Instagram. It's a boomerang effect video, and it's me and Gary's brother there. And we're just toasting empty glasses, as in to say, hey, this home was under contract in under 24 hours, which is true. This home was over in Westlake. If those of you familiar with the Austin area, we got this home under contract in under 24 hours. And the exciting thing is that home was a $975,000 home that we got under contract in under 24 hours. Now, if you're in California, like 970, what? That's the starter home out here.
It's peanuts.
Out here in Austin, that's like getting onto the luxury market. But anyway, it's just a really short video. We did this toast in the home before it sold, just because we were playing around. They had a little bar set up, and we were like, hey, let's do a toast. And we got that on Instagram. Anyway, we went back and just put a 24 there. And then if you look at the caption on the screen, it says under contract in under 24 hours, send us a DM to get our marketing plan. So there's the result. Under contract in 24 hours, send us a DM to get the marketing plan that we use to get this, right? So what does that mean? What message is being interpreted there? Here's what that tells us. That tells the market, the prospective seller, people in our sphere of influence, people who get referred and recommended to us, that, wow, these guys have something different. They use a marketing plan. They have a marketing plan to sell a home, and they're making it available to me. So these little messaging tactics show people not only the evidence that we produce the result, but it also gives them a little bit of rationalization and proof as to how we produce that result. So the evidence was we got this home under contract in 24 hours. How we did it was through that marketing plan, right? And again, what this does for us is it helps to communicate to sellers the reputation that we have as listing expert agents, right? If you want to get more opportunities flowing to you on a consistent basis, you must have a reputation as a listing expert agent. Otherwise, you have to work a lot harder to get those opportunities. Now, I'm going to share with you a marketing calendar to get listings, and we're going to share with you a 5-step real estate marketing system to get listings. But I'm going to tell you, it's a heck of a lot easier to get them in the first place when you have a reputation that attracts people. Your conversion rate, your attraction rate is going to be multiples versus if you have to just run up the hill. Okay. If you have to run up the hill every time. Here's another example. This was a short 30-second video that we put onto Instagram. And what it's doing is showing, hey, recently sold, right? Recently sold home. And so for anyone who says, what if I don't have any listings right now? Well, you do a recently sold. This is what we did, a recently sold, and then offering the property marketing plan to show people how we got that result.
You know, Chris, also, if you don't have any recently solds, because I actually have this question, I wanted to answer this. We've got a lot of people here like Chris and Glenn. They're like, hey, what if I'm brand new? I've never sold anything. I don't have any current listings. Well, here's another thing. You can go to your broker and find out if there are any recently solds or current active listings that the broker has that you can advertise on their behalf. So there's complete easy ways around that.
All right. Now, Gary, you asked the question.
What is a property marketing plan, Chris?
Yeah. All right. So property marketing plan, it's a lot like what it sounds like. It's a document that contains a list of everything that we're going to do to prepare, list, and market that home. But more importantly, here's what it does: is it answers the question, why should I hire you? Like, why should I hire me as a seller? Why should I hire you as my listing agent? That's what it's designed to answer. And rather than saying because I'm better or being able to say I'm the most awesome person to sell homes, it actually gives them, it communicates your value. So it actually gives them something like an actual document that lists out what you're going to do. And that in turn communicates your value, which is actually more effective than you trying to explain it. You just showing them. What's that saying that you have, Gary, about the master salesperson?
Yeah. So a master salesperson never tells somebody, you might want to write this down, people. Like, I'm just going to preface this, like, write this down, get your pen ready, whatever, type it out. A master salesperson never tells somebody anything that they can show them. So, you know, when I first got into real estate, Chris, what was that company? We talked about it and I can't remember what it was. It was the company that would sell the flyers talking about how awesome you are.
Oh,
you know,
yeah, I can't remember their name. I don't think they're around anymore.
They're not, because I think people kind of picked up on, nobody cares about me telling everybody how awesome I am. Mm-hmm. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to show them how awesome we are. That's what we're going to do. So we're going to show them with our property marketing plan what we're going to do to take care of their concerns. That's another sales technique here. Is it's actually the fundamental of sales is understanding what somebody's concerns are and then addressing them. Like asking questions, you know, what's going on in your world? Oh, you're thinking about selling your house. You know what? Did you know that the number one thing that people want to know is, you know, how to market your home? So we're going to do that. We're going to show you exactly how to do that. And so you address their concerns by showing them.
You know, Gary, interesting fact here. According to the National Association of Realtors, I told you about that study they do every year where they ask home buyers and sellers a bunch of questions. And so one of the questions that the study asks sellers is, what is the most important task that you want your real estate professional or your realtor to do? What is the one thing you want them to do? Is it do you want them to tell you what the price of the home is? Do you want them to show the home to people? No. The number one thing they want us to do, that they want us to bring to the table, is to market the home to attract buyers.
Yep.
And so that means if that's the thing they want us to do, we need to show them how we're going to do it. Right. And so that's what this document is. By the way, it's a great tool for setting yourself apart from the competition, because your competition likely is not using one. And two, it communicates your value very effectively. It resets the standard of what that seller is going to expect from other agents if you send this to them in advance. And get this, here's a really cool thing, is that it becomes a tool for the seller to refer you with, right? It becomes a tool for the seller to refer you with, because the minute they, as soon as they decided that they're going to sell their home, what do they start telling people? We're going to sell our home. Hey, we've just put our house on the market. And anybody that they encounter who says, we've been thinking of the same thing here, now all of a sudden they say, you know what? If you're thinking of selling your home, let me give you Gary's property marketing plan. I think that might help you. And so it becomes a tool for them to refer and recommend you with. If you're wondering what goes into it, it's really just the everything that we're going to do. Well, we talk about the different tools that we have to promote. We talk about the strategy for promotion. We talk about, where everything, like when it's going to happen, what's going to happen and when it's going to happen, or the frequency of what's going to happen. And then of course, we always close it out with a little bit about us, because we know that this is a tool that they're going to refer or recommend us with. And so very, very cool tool. Now, I'm curious, how many folks are how many folks are using a property marketing plan, Gary?
You know what, Chris? I'm going to ask and find out. So I'm actually let me create this poll real quick. My question is, are you currently using a rockin' property marketing plan? So go over it should just pop up. I'm not quite sure how this happens, Chris. We always present. I'm not a participant, so I don't know where this shows up.
It pops up for me. It always pops up for me. Okay, I answered the question.
Go answer that. Go answer that poll, because we're really curious. Who here is using a rockin' one right now? And we'll talk about that more. I'm going to leave it open for a little bit.
Leave it open.
Chris.
We'll talk about strategy number 3 before we get into the 5-step real estate marketing system and the 12-month marketing calendar. So we'll talk about before we get into that. So strategy number 3 is, assuming you've got your property marketing in place because you're using it to promote on social media, is just email it to everybody that you know, right? So
super easy.
Very easy. I know you all can send email, right? No,
Chris, but we're not going to sit there and say, hey, I'm sending this to you because I want to sell your house, right?
No. This is remember, we're always trying to communicate value. We're trying to deliver value. Remember, going back to those principles, we're trying to, we need to be present. So we want to be present on social media. We want to be present in their inboxes, right? We want to be present in their Facebook Messenger. We want to show up in all these places. And let's not forget about the email inbox. But what we say matters here. And what we're trying to do is to communicate our value as well as provide value. That's an essential part of the equation here. Is we want to communicate our value and simultaneously be providing value to people. Does that make sense? So in our, you could provide value, for example, by sharing, the local team's sports schedule with people. The problem with that, I'm not going to dismiss that, because that's a cool thing to send out, local team sports schedule, right? The problem is it doesn't communicate our value at the same time, right? And so that's really important. It's okay to do those other things. Just make sure you're communicating your value consistently. Why? Because remember, our reputations are at stake. And I don't mean like our reputation is at risk of being bad. I mean, our reputation is at risk of not existing in their mind. Right? It's not going to be one that is based on value and care.
Chris, that's actually even worse than having a bad reputation in somebody's mind, is having a non-existent reputation. Like, I don't even exist in somebody's mind.
How many of us know some of those people in the marketplace? Maybe they're you know what I mean, right? But they still seem to sell a lot of real estate, but maybe they got some questionable ethics, right? Clearly their results are what end up doing that. So anyway.
All right, hold on. Before we move on. Oh, are we going to read this?
Yeah, I think we should read this just for anyone who's trying to, like if someone who's anxious to take some action today, let's just read it real quick.
Okay. Subject, new plan for my seller clients. Hey, Chris, if you've read the news recently, you know there's been a lot of changes. And when people decide to sell their home and move, the last thing they want to deal with is the unknown. This is why using a strong plan is critical to finding lots of prospective buyers for your home, which is why I've recently updated my property marketing plan for my seller clients to address market conditions and to use the latest, most effective marketing tools available. Pay attention to this. Want a copy of my updated property marketing plan? Check it out here. You have a hyperlink to it. Please feel free to share my plan with anyone you know personally. And of course, if I can be of any service, please just reply to this message. Pretty simple. But, Chris, I want to break this down because what I noticed is the new plan for my seller clients, boy, I mean, you're just getting right to the point there with the subject line. And then all you're doing is offering value. You're saying, hey, this is why I'm sending this out so it can help people. Plus, if you know of anybody who wants this, send this along. That's another point of referral. Just a really powerful message here.
Well, this particular email, I mean, I wrote this, and it is designed to capture the attention of anyone who's had a real estate conversation recently. So anyone you're connected to, if they've had a real estate conversation lately, this has been designed to attract them. You might ask, how is that? Well, did you know, and of course you wouldn't know this, but me as a marketing guy, of course I know this, that the word new, as soon as you see and read the word new, your attention goes, new, what's new? So new plan for my seller client. So it's designed to get attention and quickly. Look, if they've not had a real estate conversation, it's fine if they don't open this email. This is for the person who's had a real estate conversation, meaning them or somebody that they know. Because if it's a new plan for my seller clients and I've had a real estate conversation, I'm like, ooh, I wonder if I can help my friend by sharing this new plan with them. Okay. And so that's what this is meant for. And then it immediately gets to the value, right? We're getting to the value of what, it's communicating our value by providing value. All right. So that's
poll results.
Yes, let's do it.
All right. 75% of our students here today do not have a rockin' property marketing plan. My guess is they probably want one. So we'll talk about that in a few minutes, how you can get that. And 25% are using one. Well done.
Nice. All right. Well, next, even if you have one, I'm always looking for ways to improve the one that we have, whether that be the actual marketing tactics within the plan to market the listing more effectively, or ways to better communicate our value. So I think there's always a way to improve the plans that we have. But
you and I, we're constantly doing that.
Constantly updating because we're constantly innovating on our tactics, right? Yep. All right. So let's shift gears here. And I want to give you guys a system, a 5-step system that will consistently produce those listing opportunities, those leads, the lead generation activity. I want to be able to show you the path to predictability. And I think that's something that we could all appreciate, is not worrying where our next listing or where our next customers are going to come from. And even if things are busy right now, what's going to happen when things slow down, right? We want to make sure that we're not living that cycle, that feast or famine. And having a system is really the only way I've come across to do this very well. I mean, there may be other ways to do this, but having a really good marketing system is the only way that we've come across. And this is based off of Gary's 20-some years of selling real estate, coupled with my 20-some years of being marketing in real estate. So we brought this system together. So let's talk about this 5-step real estate marketing system. And it's important for you to get a quick overview, because I don't want you to, first off, if you're not technically inclined, I don't want you to get scared of this, and because you're going to see things like, email, video, social media. I don't want you to get scared of it. But maybe you are somewhat technically inclined, or maybe you're advanced and you've tried some of these things and didn't get a result. Let me give an example. I think everyone's tried to blog. Many people have tried to blog only to find that no business came from it. And so what I want to do is to first communicate to you guys that, one, the power in this system is the fact that there are 5 steps, and all 5 steps must be done for the system to pack its punch, right? all 5 steps must happen to pack the punch. If you only do one of those things, it's going to be very weak. Now, here's another part of the system that makes it so effective, is that it's directed at an actual source of business, right? So we're just not sending stuff out into the webospheres, right, or into the general marketplace. We're actually looking and targeting a very specific group of people. In this case, it's our contacts and connections. When we focus these 5 activities on these specific group of business, we're going to get recommendations, referrals. We're going to get business from our sphere of influence and people who know us, or people who know the people who know us. We get those repeat customers, and we get an increased reputation throughout our sphere of influence, which is critical, like I said, to building up that reputation. Now, why contacts and connections? Why is that the specific source of business that we're going to direct our activities? Because it's the largest slice of the pie, bar none. It's the largest slice of the pie when it comes to how do sellers find their real estate professional. They were either referred, they either knew us already, or they are repeat customers. Almost 70% of the time, this is the case on average. And when you're like us and you focus on that, your percentages are going to be a lot higher. But the only way to really get this, because this isn't asking agents what they get, this is asking sellers how they chose their real estate professional. So there's a big difference here. This means that if we're not fishing where the sellers are hanging out, we don't get as many fish. Right. And so we want to make sure that we're directing our efforts at our contacts and connections to capitalize and make sure that we're getting this source of business. Let's get into the 5 actual steps. This is where the rubber meets the road, so to speak. The devil is in the details. We got to get into the details here so that you understand why and how to do each one of these things. So step number 1 is to publish useful real estate information. Publish useful real estate information. Now, we use a blog post to do this every single month. We use a blog post to do this. Why do we use a blog post? Because it makes it easier to share, which is going to make a lot more sense in steps 2 through 5. But here's the thing. In and of itself, the blog post does not get business. If we were to just post the blog post, nothing would happen. The blog post is meant to provide informational value. Remember what we talked about earlier, that we want to communicate our value while providing value. Well, this is informational value that we can communicate to our contacts and connections. So all of a sudden, this informational value becomes the reason for the outreach. Does that make sense? Now we've got something to offer somebody, and that becomes the reason or the excuse for us reaching out. You know, a great byproduct is if you write about real estate related stuff, it establishes your authority, credibility. Here's ultimately what it does, is it connects people to you and real estate so that they are aware of you and real estate in here, right? So here's what it means to be aware of you and real estate. It's that when they think of you, they think of real estate. And when they think of real estate, they think of you. That's how they become aware. So that's what we're going to do, is publish useful real estate information. Now, it's not enough to just publish it. Like I said, we've got to get this into the hands of our contacts and connections, right? We've got to get it into the hands of our contacts and connections. And so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to email a summary of that article, that informational value, to the people in our database, to the people that we have an email address for. Really, anybody we have an email address for, we're going to send it to them. All right. Anybody we have an email address for, we're going to send it to them. Some of you might have to get your contacts and connections off of your phone and into a tool to be able to send out your email, but just send it out to everybody that you know, and just put a link to the blog post into the email, right? Just put a link to the blog post in that email and send it off. Now, I know you don't have email addresses for everybody that you know. Gary, how many do we have? 400?
I don't. Just shy of 500, and 500. I've got almost 4,000 friends on Facebook.
Right. But on social media, you might have a lot more followers, a lot more contacts, and a lot more connections when you look at all of your social media accounts. And so that is why we start to use social media to get the same message right? We get the same message of value. We're just going to use different modes or methods of communication. So email was the first. The next one is we're going to use a 1-minute video for Facebook and Instagram to get this onto social media, right? So a 1-minute, why a 1-minute video? Because it is most likely to be viewed, maybe not the whole 1 minute, but it's most likely to be viewed at any portion because it is you sharing information that could benefit somebody. Who's going to want to hear this information? People who know you. Who's going to respond to it? People who know you or know the people who know you. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to use our phone to shoot just a 1-minute video talking about the highlights from that article. All right. Again, just like those video messages that we talked about in the quick strategies, we don't have to overproduce it. You can literally hold your phone and talk about it and post it onto your business page if you have one. If not, share it on your personal profile. And if you have a business page, consider using Facebook ads and promoting it for $1 a day for 30 days. And what that's going to do is going to serve it up to more of those people who are in your contacts and connections, and so that they will see it and they will have that additional touch point of getting and receiving that message and value that you have. Now, step number 4 is to do what we would call a traditional social media post, right? We're going to take an image and we're going to post some information from that blog post and just continue promoting it, using that informational value and promoting it everywhere that we can. So you could put this on your business page, share it from your business page onto your personal profile. Really, you're going to post this information on any of the social media accounts that you're actively posting. Now, let's talk a little bit about frequency here. So step number 1 on the blog post, we're going to do that once a month. You send the email out once a month. You do the 1-minute video once a month. But step number 4, we can do this weekly. I'm going to encourage you to do this step weekly, posting on social media about that article. You could take a different bullet point or a different highlight a different aspect of the article and just feature it in social media. Now, if we've done steps 1 through 4, we can do step number 5, and we're going to come back to using those messaging tools. Now, you don't have to do video messaging. I think that's very effective. But what you're going to do is just use tools like Facebook Messenger, or even you can use your regular text messaging. Just check in with people. You don't have to sell real estate. You don't have to ask them for referrals. You don't have to say, hey, you're never too busy for this, that, or the other. Here's the thing. If you've done steps 1 through 4 and you've done it consistently, as soon as they see that little message from you, what's going to happen? Bing.
Well, what's going to happen is I'm forefront in mind. They're thinking of real estate, or they're thinking of me. They're thinking of real estate. And Chris, we know this to be true because it happens over and over and over again for us.
Yeah. So you don't have to talk about real estate. You can actually just show that you care by checking.
Just be human.
Be human. You might have lots of little Facebook Messenger conversations, checking in with people, seeing how they're doing, which is a good thing, by the way. The beauty of it is, if there's a real estate conversation to be had, they will bring it up because you've been doing the other steps. Now, this one you probably can't do. For those of you who've been around for a while and you have a larger database or more contacts and connections, you might only be able to do this once a quarter or maybe twice a year. That's okay, because most people do it 0. Okay. Most people do it 0, which means all you have to do is some of the time. And in this case, if you're doing the other steps, you can do the video. I would encourage you to do the video, but you could just type in, hey, how you doing? Want to check in, make sure everything's okay. When you get a moment, drop me a line. All right. Yeah. And that's it. That's all you have to do to implement the 5-step real estate marketing system. Now, the key ingredient here is we've got to repeat it every month. Hence the 12-month calendar aspect to this. So we're going to change the topic every single month, right? And because we don't want to talk about the same thing every single month. So here's an example of one of the ones that we've done. Is now a good time to buy or sell real estate? Okay, pretty relevant. That was actually one that we did over the summer. And it answers a very relevant question that people have, particularly with everything that's been going on, is, hey, is it still a good time to buy or sell real estate? And so there's the article. There's one of the social media posts, right? So you see that. And then we would have sent it out via email, right? We would have done our 1-minute video, post on social weekly, and then check in with as many people as we can using Facebook Messenger or text messaging. Okay. Now, some of you might say, "Oh, my clients don't have text messaging." Call them. All right. Whatever your clients have, just try to make it easier on yourself. Here's another one of the topics that we've done: 5-step strategy for downsizing your home. Right. So for 5-step strategy, this was very relevant for our database. Gary's database has a lot of people who are hitting that sort of empty nester phase. Right. And so it's time they're looking around. They're like, man, I got a lot of space that I don't have to keep cleaning up after. I think maybe it might be time to downsize. And so,
well, and conversely, right now, Chris, a lot of people might want to upsize because they're like, oh, I got to work from home all the time.
Exactly.
I need another room.
I need the kids in a different wing right now.
That's right.
Because I can't get my work done.
Hey, Chris, by the way, have you thought about moving like recently? I mean, I can help you with that.
I got the 4 kids, but fortunately, fortunately, I don't. My office is very quiet, so I don't really hear them. I mean, who knows? I guess my kids. Where are they right now? Wait a minute. What's going on? I'm just kidding. There's a social media post. It's really quiet. Where is everybody? So there's the social media post. Here's another one that we've done. Oh, by the way, one of the things that we try to do is we try to do the topics based on buyers, sellers, and then also existing owners, right? Kind of this is touting a benefit of home ownership at the same time serving the homeowner. So here's the home equity playbook. Talks about home equity, what it is, how to increase it. Okay. That was the article. There's one of the social media posts. And so you can see what we're doing is we're staying in touch. And then what we have is, this is the calendar that we've used for the year. We did what's ahead for real estate in January, home design trends in February, what will buyers pay for homes in March. We did a little shifting of gears and did functional spaces at home in April because more people were spending time at home. In May, we did household budget money saving tips. In June, we did virtual options for home buyers and sellers. July is now a good time to buy or sell a home. August was 5-step strategy for downsizing your home. September, national housing market forecast. October, home value calculator. November, home equity playbook. And December, connecting with your community. And so that gives you the entire calendar. By the way, you could just as easily put 2021 calendar there if you wanted to, because the topics are broad. They're going to work regardless of region, right? Because they are broad enough to be able to serve, your market there. Okay. Now with that, Gary, I know a question that is likely to have come up is, hey, where do you get that marketing? Where do you get
a lot of questions like, where do I get this stuff?
Yes. Well, here's what I'm going to do. Now's the time for me to make a special offer for everybody here. So you can access our marketing calendar campaigns for 14 days for just $1. Okay. And you're going to access our marketing calendar campaigns for 14 days for just $1 by trying out our club. Our marketing club is going to give you the marketing, the tools, and the know-how to generate listings and leads so you can sell more homes. Our club membership includes a couple of very important features like new marketing campaign materials every single month. So everything that you need to implement that 5-step real estate marketing system is what you're going to get. There are blog posts, the emails, the social media posts. Everything you need to implement that 5-step real estate marketing system is delivered to you as part of the club. And we always get great reports from our members who say that, hey, I got another listing opportunity. I got another listing appointment. I got another listing as a result of using the marketing materials that you guys provided me with. In addition to the marketing materials, we're going to give you a personally branded marketing website so that you always look good online. That's right. You get a marketing website so that you always look good online. It's a very elegant, simple solution. We automatically post the blog posts for you, so you don't have to worry about posting blog articles. We author those blog articles and we put it on the site for you. There's also listing property landing pages if you want to market your listings, and there's a whole bunch of lead generation templates for your website as well. Now, people always ask us, hey, does this work for people who are new to real estate, right? And I'm going to point your attention to that second comment from Lisa there that we grabbed off of Facebook. She said, when I was a brand new agent in November of 2013, I discovered the paperless agent. They're the best. I credit much of my 6-figure success to them. Thank you, Lisa. But wait, that's not all. Our club membership includes the ability to send email newsletters with our marketing suite. These are newsletters that are professionally written and designed. They allow you to send broadcast emails, which means you can upload your database and send it to all those people at one time. You just need to click send to send it out. In addition to that, you have access to our tools and training library. There's listing templates, buyer templates, marketing training. One, for example, is that property marketing plan. Remember how earlier we talked about the property marketing plan? That's one of the many, that's one of the hundreds of templates and training that is available in our tools and training libraries. And so you can go in there. For anyone who is asking, where do I get that? Try the club for $1. Try the club for $1 and download your property marketing plan. Now, I know if you've been around in real estate for a while, you can probably already see how this is a really good deal. You can already see how this is going to help you guys. You guys are vets, and you don't need to be told what to do. You just need to be reminded, and it needs to be made easy for you. And so, I want to point your attention to Todd there, the one on the bottom. He says, I've been an agent for 20 years, and nothing else compares to what you guys provide. If an agent can't use your resource to make it happen for them, they need to go do something else. And so we appreciate that vote of confidence. Here's the deal. You'd spend like hundreds of dollars a month trying to get all of these different features from different platforms and from different providers. We know, we've shopped them, we've used many of them, but you get all of this with our marketing club for one low price of $67 a month. That's right. So our marketing club gives you all of those features for only $67 a month. All right. You get the marketing campaigns, you get the website, you get access to the e-newsletters tool to send those out. You get access to our training and template library. You get access to all those things for only $67 a month. And right now, you can try it for 14 days for just $1. All right. And you can download all that great stuff. Now, here's the thing. Caveat, this is the warning. This is the, hey, let me get your attention. After 14 days, your trial will turn into an active membership, but you can cancel at any time. There's no contract. There's no commitment. Let me say that again, because it's always a question that comes up.
Well, it's a question that Lacey just asked. Can I cancel at any time?
After 14 days, your trial is going to turn into an active membership, but you can cancel at any time. There's no contract. There's no commitment. There's no lock-in period. It is month to month. Now, when you try the club, right, for just $1 for 14 days, we're going to give you your very own brand new listing presentation template. Now, I know we didn't talk about the listing presentation template, but here's what I know. I know that chances are you use the marketing materials that we've shared, that we give you, and you use the tools that we provide, you're going to get more listing opportunities. And so this is a way for you to give a highly valued listing presentation, get yourself recognized as a listing expert agent. Heck, just using a couple of the slides from this listing presentation can upgrade what you do on every single appointment and get more recommendations, more referrals, ultimately build on that reputation. Remember what we talked about, building on that reputation as a listing expert agent. And so that's what this is designed to do. And you get it just for trying the club for $1. I'm going to leave on one final note from one of our very valued members, Teresa. She says, thank you, Chris and Gary and Jordan, the whole team, the Paperless Agent staff, for making us look so good. We just received a $550,000 listing because we follow your plan. All we do is follow the MVP calendar. That's the marketing materials that we send each month, and boom, the phone rings. And so we want boom, the phone ring for you guys too. So go ahead. Sign up today. Give it a try. It's only $1 for 14 days to get access to all this, as well as that bonus gift of the listing presentation template. Go to, actually, I've seen the button pop up. What I suggest, take care of it. Sign up for the trial now, just so that you can get that listing presentation template. That's worth $1. I know, because I was just online looking and I see that people are selling them for like almost $1,000, and you're getting it for just $1. You can download that presentation and put it to work.
All right. So our team in the background has popped that up several times. It's that teal button that says join the club now. What we want you to do is go join that club now. It's going to take you to a page that will allow you to sign up. You put your credit card information in. You're even going to put your password that you want to join the membership with on that same page. And like Chris said, you're paying $1 now for 14 days. On that 15th day, when you're ready to roll into the full membership, it's $67 a month. That's how easy it is. So Chris, we have got so many questions. I mean, we've got tons of people on here. We've got a lot of questions.
Let me do this, Gary.
What are you going to do?
I've got what I believe to be the most frequently asked questions teed up. And so let's do this. I want to answer those questions for everybody,
Okay.
right? Just to get those questions about our membership out of the way, because I'm sure people have questions about that. So let's see if we can knock that out in the next 5-10 minutes, and then we'll do Q&A for people who had questions about the information that we presented today. Is that cool?
Let's do it.
All right. So one of the first questions I anticipated was, hey, what does the listing presentation template look like? And so let me just show you our listing presentation template. When you try the club for $1, you'll be able to download this. You get it in Keynote as well as PowerPoint. So yes, you can customize it and make it your own. There's no, I mean, our branding is on the example, but you will replace our branding with yours. There's no copyright. It's completely editable. And it's a great way for you to get a new page for your listing presentation. And this alone is worth trying the club for, trust me. So this is what the listing presentation template looks like. And like I said,
and this is something that I've spent the last 23 years perfecting, because I've studied sales, I've studied clients, I've studied presentations, and we have come up with this in a scientific way that shows you exactly how you need to present everything. By the way, Chris mentioned this. I want to mention it again. When you join the club for $1 today, yes, you get this, and it's in editable format. So if you're using Apple, it'll come in Keynote. If you're using Microsoft, it'll come in PowerPoint, and you get to download that and customize it to use for yourself. And in fact, I'll never forget this story, Chris. There was a gentleman out in California who wrote me, and he said, I can't believe it. I joined your club yesterday. I think he joined on a Thursday. I had a listing presentation on Friday. Thursday night, I downloaded the listing presentation template. I customized it. I used it the next day, and I beat out all of my competitors. And the number one competitor in the marketplace, who gets all the listings, they like own that neighborhood or something, I beat them out because I used this listing presentation. So if it worked for him, it'll work for you. Just download it, customize it, and use it. Okay.
All right, so let me knock out these quick, frequently asked questions about the club so that we can get to everybody's questions, or as many of them as we can, related to what we've talked about today. First thing is, how is this different from other programs? Here's what I'm going to share with you. Everything that we do, all the tools that we provide, all of the marketing that we provide uses the most innovative and effective marketing practices. I don't want you to waste time learning tools, using technologies that haven't proven themselves to work. And so what we do is we only use the effective marketing strategies, and we engineer every single marketing piece. We have every piece professionally written, professionally designed with that outcome, right? With that outcome in mind. So we use the most effective marketing strategies and practices in all the things that we give you. One of the questions that we oftentimes get, what is the cost after the trial? $67 a month.
Yep. That's
Doesn't
it.
change.
It doesn't change. And that's the other thing, is so many people are like, okay, hold on, Chris, Gary, what's the catch? $67 a month for all of this. What's the catch? Is like, are you going to try and increase it to $400 or $500 a month in the future? No. The purpose behind Paperless Agent is Chris and I wanted to share with the community of real estate agents who have given so much to us. We wanted to give this back. And so, we've had conversations in the past. It's like $67, man. We've held it at $67 for, gosh, I don't know, 6 years, something like that. And it's like, do we change the price? No, let's leave it where it is.
Hey, I'm all about making this accessible, because the more of us that can be successful in the marketplace, the better we all are. And that really improves.
Raise the bar.
Here's the thing. We talk about our reputations in the marketplace. When we're all better, all of our reputations go up. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
When all of us are a little bit better, all of our reputations increase. Next question that comes up is what's the cancellation policy? Here's the thing. After 14 days, your trial will turn into an active membership, but you can cancel at any time. There's no contract. There's no commitment. Okay. If I'm not technical, how do I get help? All right. So the first place to get help if you're not technical is through our online platform. There's a whole online learning section. There's self-help articles. There's a knowledge base there. There's a whole library. And so you can just go to the paperlessagent.com/dashboard. You'll log in and access the tools and training if you're not technical. You can also get help from our team through sending them an email. This is probably the preferred method, is to send an email to support@thepaperlessagent.com. We have a whole ticketing system that's designed to get you in and serviced as quickly as possible, and they'll be able to point you in the right direction. And then we do have a phone support, not as effective as our email support, but our phone support's 512-271-5818. And so you can take a snapshot for those of you who are signing up. And if you're not feeling technical and you need to get help, that is how you will reach out to us. Next question is, I'm a new agent. Will this work for me? Now, I shared with you Lisa's story earlier during today's presentation. Let me share with you Cynthia's story. She says, PA is incredible. I've been a member since 2015. If you are new in real estate, save yourself money and time. Go no further. Paperless Agents, the most valuable real estate and resources, hands down. So yes, it does work for folks who are new. Will this work in Canada is a question that we oftentimes get. And the answer is yes. For the marketing materials that we produce, whenever we have too many US references, we will create a second version for our Canadian members. Number 3, where do I get the marketing materials? What you're going to do. Actually, I need to shift gears here, Gary, because I want to pull up my my screen to show everybody exactly where to get the stuff, if that's okay.
Yeah,
So
please.
let me give me 2 seconds here to unshare this, and I'm just going to switch over to my desktop where I can do, hey, there we are. I'm going to switch over to the desktop where we can do a little bit of screen sharing, if that's okay. I find that the screen sharing is more effective because those of you who are signing up, I'm going to kill 2 birds with one stone.
He's going real time on
it. It's always dangerous. You never know what the website's going to do. Just kidding. It's kind of like, remember when Bill Gates, when he was revealing Windows 95 back in the 90s, and it was the blue screen of death? Only those of us who've been around for a while know what I'm talking about.
It's like, oh, what just happened? But he rolled with it.
You don't have a choice sometimes when you got a bunch of people in the audience and they're looking at your screen, and whatever happens is what's going to happen. So I'm pulling my screen up here so I can show you where to access the marketing materials so that you'll be able to get a hold of them. Let me hide that. So you just go to the marketing section, you'll come into the marketing section, and you can come up to the
We can't see your screen yet.
You can't? I can see it.
There it is now.
There it is.
It's just popped up.
So here is let's go. We'll go to the October campaign. That's the one that just released earlier. 5 secrets buyers and sellers must know about virtual home tours. So that's the topic, right? For those of you who need some organization, there's a calendar. For those of you who are not technically inclined, there's a little bit of additional training on how to do those steps. Okay, and then there's the marketing materials. And so you'll come in here. Here's the email, for example, where you can just copy and paste and send it out. I'll also show you where to access our email tool. But for our Facebook post, for example, come in here, just go to the Facebook post, download the image, and then literally you can just copy and paste the text into Facebook to send it out. Okay. You have social media videos that you can use to send out. There's reports, there's scripts to use for your 1-minute videos. There's posts for Instagram, Pinterest, and LinkedIn if you're using those things. And so that's where you're going to access the marketing materials. And then let me move on to the next question. Can you modify the marketing materials? Are they copyrighted? Yes, you can modify the marketing materials. You can modify the blog posts. You can modify all of it. We don't copyright it to the Paperless Agent. It's meant to make you look good, not us look good. And so you take it and you do whatever you want with it because it is meant for you to look good. Is the marketing website included? We get asked this question a great deal because people are like, "What? There's a website as well?" And
well, Chris, here's the reason why. Because the website that we offer, if they want it somewhere else, they're going to pay at least $100 a month for that website. And I mean, that's why I completely understand the question is like, wait, there's no additional charge for the website? No.
No, and we post the blog articles every single month for you. And like I said, all of this is professionally
Wait,
written.
say that again.
We post the blog articles on the website for you, and they're professionally written. They're professionally designed. They use all of the marketing best practices, so you don't have to worry about it. Here's an example. You can also market your listings on here. Right. So here's a brand new listing that we just brought onto the market on 301 Comet Cove. I was actually out here. This is just the other day, Gary. I went out. Yeah. A beautiful home. I think we're listing this one at 1.8 is what I want to say. All right. So back to questions. Is the marketing website included? Does the website have IDX? The website does not have IDX, but you can add as many listings as you want here. And really the reason I do this is because I want our listings to come back to us. I want the traffic for our listings to come back to us as opposed to, using the IDX feature. So you can add as many of the listings as you possibly want. You can see here some of our recent ones that we've put on here. So that is to answer that question. Then the next question is, I have my own website. Can I get the posts? So if you're adamant about not setting up our website, which here's the thing.
Well, like Christopher Ward said, what if I have a website already?
Well, if you have a website already, you can come in here and you can actually just grab the blog post. You can just download it and put it on there. But here's what I'm going to suggest. There's no harm in having an additional website presence. Right. For example, let's just do a little Google search on Gary here. Gary Kreth.
Oh boy.
I don't know what's going to show up. So
it's sometimes it's embarrassing.
Here's the thing. So just Gary says that because when he first used to do this, there was another Gary Kreth who happened to have been in jail, and it wasn't this Gary Kreth. It was another Gary Kreth. And
wait, nope, never been in jail.
So here's the thing. When we Googled Gary, which is what people do, right? Your sphere of influence, your contacts and connections, when they're anybody who's thinking of working with you is going to Google you. And so the more search results that pop up, that's okay. And in fact, the fourth or fifth one that popped up here is Gary's site with us, right? This is his marketing website. And so there's no harm in having one more additional search result set up, but you can also download the blog post and post it on your own if you don't want to set it up. Can I personalize or customize my website? Yes, you can. You can put your photo, your own bio on there. You can even go in and next question is, can I add posts and landing pages to the site? You can customize the blog posts that we put in there, personalize them. You can add your own blog posts. We've got landing page templates, listing page templates. All of that is included with the website. Next question is, where do I find the bonus gift and templates? When you log into the site, this is where you'll find the property marketing plan. Just go to not the property marketing plan. It's the listing presentation template. You'll just go under here where it says products and certifications, and it should show up under there. If you are wondering where to access the property marketing plan template, as well as all the other marketing templates, just click on the marketing section, go to marketing templates and tools, select that, and you'll be able to search the archive. There's like hundreds of them in here. You'll see there's the property marketing plan template. Nice. Okay, moving along. I'm almost done, and then we'll get to the rest of the Q&A. How do I get
this
started?
Is a big one because I actually have a lot of these questions flagged right here.
How do I get started? There's two ways to get started. First is you start by logging into the website and go to the Getting Started section. There's an orientation video and FAQs and everything that you need to get yourself up and running. Okay. The other thing you can do is join us for the new member kickoff. It's a new member orientation, and they're hosted every Monday. If our team could put the link to that for the folks who have already signed up, you'll want to sign up and reserve your spot on the new member orientation. Last but not least, I realized I forgot to show this to everybody. For those of you who want to use our email feature, you'll come to the homepage, see where it says send emails, and this is where you'll access our newsletter tool. You'll come in here. It's already designed. It's already been coded. You just got to upload your database and send it out.
Right. This is such a huge thing. Is you don't have to go spend money on an email service provider. we have it for you.
Yep.
And so you get to just go in there, you upload your database, and bam, send it out.
And that concludes the Marketing Club FAQs, most frequently asked questions. I think we've covered almost all of our bases. If there's anything that unique that popped up, we'd be happy to answer it. Outside of that, I think it's time for us to dive into some Q&A. And remember, before we get going here and before time gets away from you, sign up for that $1 trial for 14 days to get access all these goodies and all these resources, and start getting better results in terms of generating more listings and leads today.
I paid more for this bottle of water than the 14-day trial. So go hit that button. It just popped up in the middle of your screen. It says sign up now. It's $1. You're not going to regret it. By the way, if you do regret it and you're like, oh man, I wish I hadn't spent that $1, you can cancel. It's so easy. Okay, so Chris, we've got a ton of questions here that I want to get to. By the way, I want to let everybody know that Sarah just posted in the chat section, not in the Q&A section, in the chat section, the link to sign up for the new member kickoff on Monday. By the way, if you're unable to make it to that, not a problem. We're going to record it. We'll send it out to you. Okay, yeah. And by the way, that is
go ahead and register for it. Even if you can't make it, register for it, and they'll send you the recording.
Oh, that Connie just asked that question. If you miss Monday webinar due to an appointment, can you access it later? Yes, you can. We have a team member answering you right now. Okay, holy cow! Lots of questions here. All right. First question I have, Holly says, so can we utilize both websites? I'm assuming Holly already has one and the new one. To get more exposure, would this website through you stay up to date without me going in and setting up things to post, such as blog posts?
Exactly. It's done for you. That's the whole point. Yeah. You always look good online because we're always adding that content for you. You only have to go in there one time. Add your photo, add your bio, and you're up and running. Some of you might choose to use it more frequently. Maybe you want to be able to post your listings there, or you want to add some additional articles and information, and that's fine. But you don't have to. That's what we wanted to do, is to have a set it and forget it solution for you guys, because we know how busy it is in real estate. There's seasons when we aren't able to get back to a lot of the stuff. And the last thing you want to have to worry about is writing a blog post and posting it. That's why we do it for you.
Chris, I got to tell you, one of the banes of my real estate career was having to sit down and create a blog post. Our marketing director would come to me and say, Gary, I got to have that blog post today. And I was like, you know what? I'm tired. Go hire somebody to do this. And at that time, I think we were spending right around $3,000 or $4,000 a month to have somebody on staff to be this copywriter. And that was insane. And now you get it for $67 a month. Okay, next question.
Garrett, I was going to say, for most of us, particularly when things get busy, the last thing we want to do is to have to worry about doing the marketing or to go find customers.
I just want to sell real estate, man.
Exactly. And so what we try to do is to compress the amount it takes to get the marketing done. Now, here's the thing. Marketing is an essential ingredient to a successful real estate practice. It has to be done. It just doesn't have to be you all the time, but it does have to be done. You must take into consideration the marketing needs of your real estate practice. Now, we've got it down to about 90 minutes a month. 90 minutes a month. That's about the amount of time that you can implement our 5-step real estate marketing system. Why is it only 90 minutes a month? Because we're doing all the heavy lifting for you. We're writing all the content. We're designing it. We're posting a lot of it for you. You just got to send the email out, schedule the email to go out, right? Post your 1-minute video and post on social. But we've even created the content for you to do those things just to make it a little bit easier.
Awesome. All right, next question. Beth Ann says, can you add your monthly videos on it?
You certainly can. You certainly can.
Yeah,
and, one of my favorite things to do.
As an additional question, that Chris, are there limits to number of website pages that I can add to it?
No limit, unlimited. I mean, I've never tested that. I've never seen any. It's unlimited. We haven't set a limit, right? Like you can add as many pages to your site as you want. I was just going to say something about the video thing, though. One of the things that's a really cool idea for you to do, this might not be something that you do today, but in the future, you might want to consider giving a local real estate market report via video and just post that on your website Gary does. We do that from time to time. We haven't done it lately because we've been pretty busy. But I anticipate, we'll probably want to do something like that as we approach the end of the year, particularly getting into the new year. But it's a great way to communicate your value by providing value. Remember, we were talking about how do you communicate your value by providing value? You doing a short video talking about what's happening in the real estate market is a great way to do that. Put it on your website, put it on social media. It could even be your 1-minute video, an additional 1-minute video that you send out.
All right. Michelle Scarborough is currently a member of our club, and she says, if I'm already in the club, do I get all of this as well?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. In fact, you know what I would do, Michelle? I would register for that new member kickoff.
Oh, that's a great idea. Great idea.
Right? That, just to make sure that we get you on the right path and get you moving towards success. A lot of times people just need to be pointed in the right direction, right? You're like, okay, I know I can do this. I know I just need a little bit of help. I need to be pointed in the right direction, and then I can get after it. And Michelle, so what I'm going to encourage you to do is to sign up for that new member kickoff or that new member orientation. And even if you can't show up there on Monday to attend, at least if you sign up, you'll get the recording for it. And our team member, Jordan, who's our membership manager, is going to be giving you the path, be giving you the plan on here are the specific things that you need to do. And it's not that many, to be honest with you, it's not that many, but here are the things that you need to do to get up and running. And so that way you'll know how you access all of these things that you've got.
By the way, I want to let everybody know, Sarah just posted again in the chat section. This is for new members or existing members. I mean, that, like Chris said, is that if you're already a member, this is not just a new member kickoff, it's a member kickoff. So if you're a member and you want to go join on Monday, Sarah just posted that link to sign up for that, the new member or member kickoff on Monday. And by the way, if you have not signed up yet, go do it right now, because we want to make sure that you get access to that new member kickoff, you get access to everything that we're offering today, and that you're able to download our listing presentation template. That's normally $967. We're just going to give it to you for $1 today. So go do that right now as we get to our next question.
Are there any questions about, if we go back earlier during the information that we shared, maybe it was one of the strategies from one of the 3 quick strategies, or maybe it was about the property marketing plan, or
so I actually have a question from Bruce. Bruce was asking this about right when we were talking about doing the Facebook Messenger videos. And Bruce said, what do we do about leads who rejected us on our first call? And I'm like, dude, here's the thing. I'm going to bear it all here. Is if I had quit after my wife rejected me the first time, I would not be married to my wife.
My wife actually hated, she told me she disliked me the first month that she met me. She said, I disliked you. You were such a disruption in the classroom, because we met in college. You were such a disruption in the classroom. I really disliked you. And I was like, really? Persistence pays. Persistence pays.
My wife stood me up on 5 or 6 Skype calls. I don't know. Maybe I'm exaggerating. She's over there. How many Skype calls did you reject me on? She's not even going to tell me, but she rejected me on multiple Skype calls. And if I had just given up, Bruce, I wouldn't be married to the most amazing woman in the world. So what do you do about leads who rejected you on the first call? Reach out and talk to them like a human. And I'd also wonder, why do you think they rejected you? And what is the rejection?
Gary,
it's probably about the offer that you were making.
Oh, Gary, you see, here's the thing. A lot of times we think that because they're not ready right now, that they're rejecting us. It's just that they're not ready right now to engage us. Yeah. Instead of framing it as rejection, let's just frame it as they're not ready right now. A great example of this, my son, who is my older son, who's 11. He started over the last several months his own lawn business. He's 11. He's 11. And here's what he did. This is crazy. I came home one day. I was like, "Why are you all sweaty?" He was like, "Oh, I was out getting some business." I was like, "What?" He was like, "Yeah, I started a lawn business. It's the what it was." It's called the Scott brothers or something like that. It's him and his younger brother, who's only 7, by the way. And so here's what they did. Here they were like, you know what? Let's start a lawn business. We'll make money. We'll start a lawn business. Now they don't have any equipment, so here's what they did. He started knocking on our neighbors' doors, cold, just straight knocking on the door, saying, "You need any lawn work done? You need any lawn work done?" We have 70 homes in our neighborhood. I think he knocked on every single one. Now here's the crazy thing. He goes knocking. Not everybody answers the door. His first day, he's like, "There's just no business out there." He's like, "I knocked on every door. There's no business out there." I was like, you know what? Maybe you know what? Don't give up. You don't know. Maybe that person just wasn't ready. Maybe they were cooking dinner. Maybe they weren't ready right now. I want you to give it another shot. So he goes out. He door knocks. Fortunately, I was very glad about this. He knocks on the door, and the neighbor answers the door, and they're like, "Yeah, actually, we could use some. You want to bag the leaves here? We need someone to rake up the leaves and bag them." Done. Right. So, and he did it. He worked for like 4 hours, made $10. I was kind of feeling bad for him, but anyway, so he did it. But he didn't give up. He kept door knocking. He got knocked on another door, and he got the sweet client, right? This is the client. This is like the client who keeps buying homes and investment homes and all that, buying homes for their kids. He hooked up with the sweet client in our neighborhood. It's Mr. Powell, right? And so he hooks my son up, because my son going, he's like, "I made $70 today." I was like, "What were you doing?" "I bagged like 20 bags of leaves. I made $70." So anyway, just so people, when you contacted that individual, they may not have been ready. Let's go back to the principles, right? Your message in the marketplace matters. So we want to be present, right? Not just once, be present with those leads, right? You want to make sure your message matters, right? We need to communicate value. So continue providing value to them regardless of whether they were ready right now or not. All right. And here's the thing, try and show them that you care, right? You know, that's going to happen just by checking in. Provide value, check in, repeat, wash, rinse, repeat, keep doing that. That formula works.
Wash.
By the way,
rinse,
it works for
every
new
month.
leads. It works for new leads. It works for past clients. It works for people in your sphere of influence. It works for people in the local markets that you're serving. You know, by providing value to the marketplace and consistently doing so, what that does is that builds your reputation. That also creates for you opportunities to find business and to make business happen, because you're providing value. You're communicating your own value by providing that value. You're initiating conversations, real estate related conversations to happen. And as you're creating that dialogue, when there's a real estate conversation to be had, they bring it up.
They bring it up. And you know, Chris, there's so much power in them bringing it up, because if they bring it up, it's not like we're out there prospecting. They're asking for help. It's like, "Oh, you know what? I got your back."
It completely changes the nature of our lead generation and prospecting activities, because it goes from, you know, I like to think it as the old school cold calling on expireds, where you're just like, "Oh, you want to sell your home? You want to sell your home?" to actually just having relationships with people, right? You go from having to hound people, which feels to me, I don't like that feeling, to just connecting with people, building relationships, having conversations with people. Why? Because you're providing value. So you're just checking.
Here's the thing. Almost every realtor I've ever met in 23 years, that's the whole reason we got into this business, is it's a people business, and we like relationships with people. And so there you go. Okay, next question we have here, Chris. Miracle actually asked this question.
Did you say Miracle?
Yeah.
I like
Miracle.
that name.
Miracle Brodeur.
That's a lovely
awesome
name.
I like it. Do you think that it would be a good idea to place a tab on my website that shows the marketing plan? That is the first time in 8 years that anybody has ever asked that question.
No, and that is a great question. And I would.
Absolutely. Like, if we have this brilliance, why would we not share it with as many people as possible? So that's a really good question and a really great option.
You know, some people might be saying, you know, I'm afraid to share my marketing plan.
So actually, so my next question, Jeremy says, are you concerned how a prospective FSBO would use your marketing plan versus engaging you to sell? So that's so funny you asked that question.
Never let the competition or never let fear be the reason why you don't communicate your value proposition. Here's the thing.
It's a different mood, Chris, right? If
You're
fear
going to
versus
you're going to show the FISBO
confidence.
what's up. That's
Right.
what's going to happen. They're going to look at that and be like, I did not realize that this was involved. I thought I could just put a
Right.
sign in the yard and sell my own home. So you're going to communicate your value by providing them value, right? And here's the thing. Some people will say, aren't you afraid that if you give it out to people, they might give it to another agent who will use it? No.
Again, it's a different mentality. It's different
Here's
setting.
the thing. You're communicating your value. Don't let competition, don't let fear of them doing something with it. Do you know what communicating our value is all about? It's giving people a reason to hire us instead of somebody else, or in a FISBO's case, themselves. It's giving people a reason to hire us. We fundamentally must provide that answer if we're going to get that build up that reputation as a listing expert agent. Heck, we fundamentally, as service providers, have to answer that question. Why should I hire you instead of somebody else? Even if that answer is that they like me more, that's okay, because it's still a reason to hire you instead of somebody else. Now, I prefer one that solves the big problems, like, why should I hire you? Because I'm interested in marketing my home. I'm interested in getting these things. I'm interested in working with somebody who's got a good reputation. So I want to make sure everything that we provide them is going to answer that, but never, ever, ever let the competition, concern about what a FISBO would do, be the reason why you don't give them a reason why they should hire you.
Boom. All right. So on to our next question. By the way, as we're getting to the next question, we are at about an hour and a half into our time together. If you have not signed up yet, go invest $1 into your career. Invest $1 into your career. And
Gary,
when I say
you
career,
put it that way, it makes me feel bad. Like, wow, you can't invest $1 to see if you can make a positive change in your real estate practice. That to me makes a lot of sense.
Well, and I look at that as like a career. I mean, when I got into real estate, gosh, I was 23 years old, and I've been in 23 years now, which makes me 87 years old. And you ever see that meme on Facebook? It's like this old woman. It's like, hey, I'm 36 years old. I'm a real estate agent, and I've never felt better. But anyway, when you look at the careers, like, what is the lifespan of your career? My goodness, it's hopefully a long, long time. But you can only do that when you have help. And that's what we're here for. So go invest $1 into your career, investigate this. And if you love it, like we think that you will, you're going to stick around for $67 a month. All right, next question. I've got probably 4 of these questions, and so I'm going to synthesize it into probably the most recent one I have from Maritza. Am I able to add my reviews from like Zillow, Rate My Agent, etc., to the website?
Oh, you most certainly can. In fact, I don't have it on Gary's. I'm going to show you where that feature is, though.
No, you don't want to see my reviews.
So when you add reviews, they show up right here. So you can just you can add them, you can have them add them, but it's right here. You can put your client recommendation, so it shows up front and foremost. And that's that question that whoever asked that question that we've gotten, so we added that feature so that you can use it.
Peter Gittin says, does my brokerage logo go on the marketing plan? So here's the thing, Peter, is that when you get the property marketing plan, it's going to come in
Keynote.
In Keynote.
No. The property marketing.
That one is Pages or Microsoft Word.
Yeah.
And Peter, you can customize that. So absolutely, go put your broker's logo, all your brokerage information on it, your photo if you want to. You brand it to yourself. But absolutely, it is available for you to brand to yourself. We don't want you branding it to us. By the way, it's completely editable. There's no copyright on it. You will never see paperless agent on it. It is all for you. Okay, next question. Oh, this is a great one. I like this one. We're just going to call this out, Christine. Christine said, some of the reviews on your company complain about your service to get to the system and to cancel. They both complained about being able to cancel. How can you speak about this? So, Christine, great question. So, Chris, you want to talk about that?
Yeah. So here's the thing. That's why, let me go back. Oops. Two things. First, now here's the thing. I know a lot of people are busy, and a lot of times they may not hear this. And sometimes people are busy and they don't hear this. They might leave us a negative review because they don't hear this. But you guys are not going to hear it. And ever since we've gotten a couple of reviews on that, I made sure that we prominently feature the fact that after 14 days, your trial will turn into an active membership, but you can cancel at any time. Okay. There's no contract. There's no commitment. The next thing then, where was it? Is if you need help, including if you need help canceling, email us at support@thepaperlessagent.com. Please make sure it's thepaperlessagent.com and not missing the. Does that make sense? We don't own paperlessagent.com. So if you send an email there, we're not going to get it. So please make sure you email us at support@thepaperlessagent.com, and you can always just give us a call if it's a problem. But yes.
All right. Al Hernandez says, if we don't have a website, is there someone who can help with that? Al, we actually have step-by-step instructions that makes it easy for a non-technical person to set up this website. And in fact,
it can be done in 5 steps, takes about
5 steps. 5 steps in 10 minutes to have an online presence. It's incredible. Okay. Next question is from Elijah Whittle says, does everyone receive the same blogs when they sign up, and are they disseminated at the same time?
Yes. So everyone, when we publish those articles, we write one and then we apply it to your websites. And we release it on the same day of every month, October 1st, or the first day of every month it gets released.
Oh, so funny. So Peter Gittins, I think, Peter responded because he was the one asking about the reviews. And he said, I saw that too. People just don't listen and they don't read.
You know what? People are busy. I get it. I get it.
We do our best. I mean, that's the thing, is that we're just doing our best here, and they are too.
And hey, here's the thing. Actually, I remember we got a negative review for our real estate business to somebody that wasn't even a customer one time. Do you remember that? They were like, and we were like, you called them and you're like, hey, well, you're not a client. Why are you leaving me negative reviews? And that happened. I mean, it happens. I'm sure you guys have had and seen similar experiences.
Yeah, these things happen.
And here's the thing. You can cancel at any time. If you're unhappy with it, cancel. I mean, if you're not happy with it, I want you to. Oh my
goodness. We don't want you unhappy. I mean, our job is to make you happy. Jorge says, do you guys offer any form of guideline or guidance on how to proceed one step at a time in order not to be overwhelmed by not knowing how to effectively proceed? Heck yes, Jorge. Chris is going to show you right now.
Yeah, I mean, to make life easy for yourself, I would just register for that new member orientation. But let's say you're hot to trot and you don't want to wait till Monday and you want to go do something. Just log into the site. See where it says orientation video and FAQs. Let me zoom that up for you. So just go here. Okay. And the first thing I'm going to suggest, just watch this dashboard orientation video. Get familiar with what we have. That's all you need to do on day one. Then you can come in here and watch the roadmap and understand where you're going to go. Then you can come in here and start sending out your first marketing campaign. We call this the monthly value program in the site. So you can start working on that. And then we've got it outlined just to make it. Here's the thing. You don't have to move the mountain in a day, right? You can do this gradually over time. And here's what I have found. You only have to do a small percentage of this to get real value, real benefit in your real estate practice. For example, if you will just start doing the marketing that we talk about, that's what Teresa shared, right? And I shared that one report from Teresa. And I love this report because it reminds me that a person doesn't have to do it all. They just got to do what's very important. And in Teresa's case, it's like, hey, she's getting listings by just sending the marketing materials out and doing that on a consistent basis. Everything else after that, for her, is a nice to have, not a need to have. And here's the thing. If you can consistently produce $500,000 listings, why wouldn't you? And if our platform can allow you to do it, I know then that we've fulfilled on our job for you. And you don't have to do it all. a lot of times we do get overwhelmed because we look at all the potential things that we could do. Do what Teresa's doing. Do what's essential. Do what's effective.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that, Chris. And by the way, just for those of you who have not signed up yet, go do that right now, because we've got just a few more questions that we're going to get to before we sign off tonight. So please go sign up, hit that button right now, and join us, because we're excited to have you there. Okay, next question is from Susan. This is a good one. Do you think advertising on Facebook and Google to get leads is a good idea? To stop paying for leads from Zillow and Realtor.com? If so, how much do you recommend you spend per day to get qualified leads? 20 per day, 30 per day? Mm-hmm. And so this is, Chris, this is an interesting question about leads on Facebook versus identity and branding on Facebook.
So here's what I'm going to share with you. And Gary and I have done it all. And we've spent a lot of money doing a lot of different things. Do you
know how much at this point, Chris? How much money have we spent?
Probably close to $1 million.
It's almost $1 million. It's actually got to be over $1 million now.
Over the last 10 years, like $1 million on Facebook and Google and so on and so forth. And here's what we have found is that the quality of lead that you get from those online leads, and I don't care if it's one that you bought from a home search site, one that you paid for on Google, one that you paid for through Facebook. Here's what I have found is the quality of that lead is like 1/10 the quality of a lead that comes through your contacts or connections. You know what I mean? Like in terms of the quality of lead, I'm not just talking about the closing ratio. I'm talking about like peace of mind and not working with somebody who questions your fees, not working with somebody who questions your competence or your experience. What I found is, you can spend as little as $1 a day on Facebook using this strategy that I've shared with you by promoting your 1-minute videos and doing the other 5 steps. This for you should, if you do these 5 steps and you repeat them consistently, this is going to produce more than enough business, right? And the business is going to be a lot more likable, meaning you're not going to hate that business. You're not going to not want to deal with. I mean, another part of it too, and every year Gary and I go through this. Every year, so I'm the one who's usually saying, Gary, let's go back to that home search site and buy more leads. Or Gary,
and I'm like, dude, do you remember what happened last time?
Yeah, I have a short memory when it comes to this. Every year, it's like, hey, let's buy leads off Google. Let's do this. And here's the thing: when we do it, we're always like, man, it's not that it didn't produce a result. It's just we weren't, by comparison to the result that we get from our 5-step real estate marketing system, it was not as awesome. You know what I mean? Like, in fact, it was so not awesome, we didn't even bother following up with those leads. We got to the place where a lot of those leads, like if they're not ready to act right now, then we're not even going to follow up with them. We found that we're not good at the follow-up with an online lead because the closing ratio is so low. You got to stay in contact with them for 18 to 24 months. We're just not going to do it. I know us. And I know that we're kind of lazy when it comes to that kind of thing. So we're not going to want to do that. This system, however, is made for the typical lazy agent. That's us, right? We don't want to have to do a whole bunch of marketing stuff and have to do a whole bunch of
That's not a lazy agent. Hold on. Come on. We're not lazy. Like, we bust our asses for our clients. But we don't want to be sitting behind a computer writing these articles.
We don't want to be grinding it out on the phone, calling people that we don't know. We're lazy like that. Let me rephrase that. Okay. Gary's feelings there.
Dude, he's like, I almost got offended
I did a really good job for him. That's not what I meant.
We've had over 600 people live on this call, and I got offended for every single one of them.
I wasn't talking about them, Gary. I was talking about you.
Oh, well, fair enough. Fair enough.
No, I was talking about us, because I know us, we weren't following up with those leads, right? Like we were paying, I don't know, we were spending a couple $1,000s a month just on Facebook leads. And we would get them and we wouldn't even call on them, because after the first couple of months, we were like, I don't know, it seems a lot more like it was a lot more work, and it hurt my feelings more than just focusing on here. And so I'd much rather do this, because you only have to spend $1 a day and you get a much better quality individual that you're going to work with. Because when someone comes through your contacts and connections, even if it's not somebody that knows you, but knows somebody who knows you, or even just through your sphere of influence, and if you're doing this type of marketing, right, that I've shared with you, where you're providing value and you're communicating your value, those people come in respecting you. Those people come in respecting your experience. They come in respecting your character. They come in respecting your competence. And so they don't like ask you things like, is the home really worth, I think my home is worth more, or you know what, I don't want to pay this much on the fees. So-and-so said they would only charge me this much fees. You don't have to deal with that. It's much better when they're coming to you like they would their doctor, and they trust what you're going to say.
Boom,
And
right there.
That's what this produces. The online leads, not so much.
Yeah. Al Hernandez says, "Wait, you guys do all the blogs, right?"
Yeah.
Heck yes.
Yes.
We do it for you. So they are professionally written. They are uploaded directly to your website, and then you can email. Like, we give you the scripts. We give you the email template. You just email it out to get people to go there. We give you the Facebook post to be able to post, to draw people back to your website to see it. Like, you get all of it. So yes, Al, you get all of that. Chris, my goodness, we're kind of running out of time here, but I want to check and see if we have any more questions that are like pertinent right now. So Jorge says, "Thanks for all the valuable information, guys. What if our sphere of influence is small or not at the price point in areas we would like to focus on? What are the best ways to find new clients or expand our sphere of influence, focusing on our preferred niche?"
So first, you need to have a system to reliably provide value, like the one we've talked about, this 5-step real estate marketing system. First, you need something to offer so that you can offer it to new people, right? So when you're sending out this valuable information, right, every single month, whenever you encounter somebody online, somebody in person, and the conversation gets round to real estate because of the, hey, what do you do? What do you do? Oh, here's what I do. And say, you know what? Every month I put together information for my customers and for my friends and for the people that I know. And I'd love to be able to send that to you as well. What's the best email address for me to send it to? And you know what? After every person you encounter, you take the moment, like them, friend them on Facebook. Say, hey, you know what? While we're standing here, I'm going to send you a friend request, right? So or hey, if you're meeting online, hey, while we're meeting here, I'm going to send you a quick friend request. Connect with them on social media, get their information, offer this value to them. And that's how you're going to start to grow your contacts and your connections. You'd be surprised at how many people you already know that you don't know you know. If you just sat down for a couple of, I know.
Wait, say that. What did you say?
You'd be surprised at how many people you know that you don't know you already know, because if you were to sit down with this phone of yours, this little computer in your pocket, and look at who you're already connected to on social media, look at people you've been emailing, look at people you've been calling, I'm willing to bet you know more people than you realize. And that is the start of your contacts and connections. So get it in a list. Get it into a spreadsheet. Get it somewhere where you can start communicating with these people on a regular basis. Get their email address if you have it. Get their phone number. Connect with them on social media. That's why it's a 5-step real estate marketing system and not a 1-step one, because you don't know whether it's their email, social media connection, their phone number, right? Their messenger. We don't know how we're going to be connected to them. That's why we do all 5 steps.
That's right. Well, and the consistency ends up paying off in spades.
Yep.
So go do that. By the way, I have several questions. People are saying, does this include a CRM? It doesn't, and here's why. We know so many people who love the CRMs that they're currently using, and there's so many wonderful CRMs out there that we're like, no, go use the one that you use that works for you.
I know CRM tends to be the technology that nobody ever uses, because really what you need is just a list of the email addresses to send this information out to.
That's exactly right. Yep. All right, Chris. And with that, we've been here an hour and 47 minutes. We still have hundreds of people here online, and we have a lot of questions. Here's my request, is that number one, if you still have questions that we did not get to today, not a problem, because when you become a member, you're going to be able to have access to our private Facebook group. And so what you can do is you can go post that question in our private Facebook group after you join today, and you will have not just our feedback and our team's feedback, you will have access to, I think, over 12,000 other like-minded real estate professionals across North America who can give you their feedback. And so that's a huge opportunity for you to join a like-minded brain trust of realtors as a community where we all need more community right now. Go join that and have access to that for a lifetime. So go do that right now. Join us there if we didn't get to your question. And by the way, Chris, any last things that you can share with people?
I would just say, what are you going to do? If you're here and you haven't taken action, you're just waiting for what? What are you waiting for? Well, here's what I would propose. Invest the dollar. Like Gary said, invest the dollar, invest in your career. See what can happen by making that little change in that little step, that baby step moving forward. And, here's the thing. We're hoping to see you in the private Facebook group, and we'd love for you to be able to share and report back to us your results and the successes that you're having. We'd love to see you on one of the live trainings that we do for our members. We'd love to see you online in that capacity and asking and answering your questions. And we hope to see you in that, for those of you who are new, we hope to see you in that new member kickoff on Monday.
Yeah. And to follow up on Chris, if not now, when? The time is now, and you're ready. Let's do this. Can't wait to see you in the club. Thanks a lot, Chris. And thank you everybody here for joining us.
We'll see you guys online.
Take care.